Chat, Harambe did everything wrong. He showed no respecto. You know, like when a lord used to walk in a medieval village, all the peasants would just drop down and look at it in awe. If Harambe would have done that, you know, if he would have understood that humans are his betters, his superiors, in every way, shape, and form, Harambe would have dropped on the ground worshipping that child and absolutely nothing wrong would have happened. But because he was an animal, because Harambe was an animal, he had it coming. I'm not taking that back, Chad. That's the reality of the issue. That's nature showing why mankind is superior and the animal kingdom is inferior. No morality, no justification will change the undeniable truth that human beings have gunpowder and the monkeys do not. Anyway, right? The woman preferred the gorilla. Did you know that 2 days ago, a woman was killed by a bear in the woods? Apparently, it's like the first case of that happening. A lot of people on Twitter were amused by it, and I didn't understand why until it clicked. And I was like, oh, she chose the bear. Give bananas to gorilla friends. Yeah. So basically, what we're going to talk about today is this new internet thing, where people are saying that 100 men can kill one gorilla. I mean, yes, they can, but not barehanded, right? If you allow the men to build up tools, like to make spears, probably not bows because it's a gorilla, but no, like if you allow the men to make spears or make a trap, right, like a punji trap or something like, yeah, it's a dead gorilla, 100%. But if you're like just throwing human beings at it, you know, like hoping that no. That's what we're going to discuss today, right? Because I see a lot of people on Twitter it's like, well, but like what about tribes in the Amazon that hunt for gorillas? And I'm like, they're not hunting it barehanded, you dumbass. You know, like they are human beings. They can use intelligence. What is this vegan nonsense? Like, this is a vegan dumbassery. It's like, oh, if you put a man in the jungle, he has no claws, he has no teeth, and so he will eat the potatoes. By this logic, he would not farm either, right? Like mankind is like a herbivore, like a cow. Like, if he can pick it, if he can tug it out of the earth, then that's okay. No, in reality, mankind has the most powerful thing that no other animal has on planet Earth, the brain. And also, mankind is a social creature. You don't just put one, you know, it's like putting one ant on the table and expecting it to do wonders. Like, no, it's a social animal. So, like, if you put 40 people on an island, yeah, then they will probably survive. Like if you drop 40 people, 40 modern people, you just pick them up, drop them on an island, chances are, yeah, they're probably going to survive. They're not going to thrive, by the way. Like, they're not going to have a very comfortable lifestyle. But they won't die. You know, maybe some of them will die. Who knows? But, like, all in all, over a decade or so, you may still find survivors there. 100 barehanded men could kill one. Sheer numbers. No, and this is what I will debunk. See, Zlixian doesn't understand. Should we actually do it now? Or should we wait a little bit until I explain why even 1,000 men cannot kill a gorilla? Let's see. Gorilla skeleton, right? Compared to human skeleton. Alright. This is what you're fighting, Zlixian. Okay? This is what you're going up against. This thing can crush your skull in its hand. You cannot pierce its skin. Like, it doesn't matter how many men you're throwing at it. It cannot pierce its skin. Even if you bite it, okay? It's got muscle so strong that your actual teeth cannot puncture it. Imagine a baby trying to bite your arm. That's what we're talking about. Okay? If you try to hold it down, like, let's say you have 4 men trying to hold down one of its legs, it pulls the 4 men towards it. It can rip off the door to a car vehicle, right? Like that, there's a footage not of a gorilla, but of a chimpanzee that runs amok, right? So like there was this person that grew a chimpanzee, and at some point the chimpanzee decided to chimp out, and a police car came in. It ripped off the actual car from the police vehicle. Didn't even flinch. Like it wasn't even something that he had to struggle. You know, like literally like paper, just like boom. And that's not a gorilla. Like we're talking about a silverback, right? Unless you have spears, unless you have stones, unless you have like some way of damaging it, you can throw 1,000 people at the monkey and it will not do a thing. It's like, no. Right? It's like having the question, would 100 school kids, like 100 preschoolers, win in a fight against you? No. Like, they can't physically hurt you. Like, it doesn't matter the number, okay? Like the level of strength is so different that like, it's kind of like fighting chickens. They're annoying. They can peck at you. Sure, at some point, maybe the monkey will retreat, but, like, take into account, every single time the monkey files a punch, it does AoE damage. Like, if you're standing next to a person that gets punched by the gorilla, you take damage. Bones and cartilage is exploding from that person's skull is going to hit you. This is what we're talking about. Like I don't even know why people think that this is even up for conversation. Like, the only way that it would possibly work, and this is like, I genuinely like thought about it, is like maybe if you have like 1,000 humans and they would have like absolutely no pain tolerance, no desire of self-preservation, like completely lobotomized, like one man, one purpose to stop the monkey, right? Like, we're talking about that, like completely brainwashed people. And what they would do is they would use their body in order to like surround the gorilla in a sea of flesh. Similar to how bees do against hornets. Like, the hornet send a scout, and the hornet is a lot bigger than the bee. And the bees just use their bodies in order to like completely surround it, right? And the bees surrounding the hornet, they don't have any desire of self-preservation. They're just doing it in order to protect the hive. That is like possibly the only way, because you can asphyxiate it then, right? Like if you just put on human bodies over human bodies on top of it, like it's World War Z, right? And you completely bury it under the sheer weight of just like so many yeah, okay, fine. Like, that is the only possible way that you could have, but it would take more than 100 people, because I don't think like 100 people can even get into position. It's not sufficient enough, right? Like, the monkey just starts flaying around. Like, it just grabs one person, it rips off its leg, starts using the leg as a club, beats the living shit out of other people like it's Samson from the Bible, okay? But like, if there's 1,000, like, at one point the monkey gets tired. Like, but it would take thousands of people for that to happen, and then, okay, fine. But like, either than that, like, take into account, you can't puncture its skin. You can't hold it down judo style. Like, if this thing headbutts you, it cracks your skull. Like, you can't. It's got like teeth that are the size of 2 daggers. And a biting capacity worse than any dog you ever encountered. Like, this thing can literally rip off flesh from you with the bone attached. Okay? You cannot possibly damage it. Like, there's no... The only win condition is, like, number one, humans have spears. Okay? And then humans get into formation, like going into a battle. Right? Like you train soldiers for discipline, like, hold the fucking line as if it's a cavalry charge. And you go into formations, and then you have, like, spears, like it's a medieval phalanx or some shit. Okay, yeah, fine. No, they win. Number two, you allow the humans to build traps, okay? Like, you build Punji traps, you send someone in as a decoy, they're running, and hopefully the monkey lands in the trap. Okay, that can work. But if you're talking about, like, bare-handed humans, just, like, one-on-one, just like, charging at the ape, no fucking way. No, it's just, no. It's just, there's It's not even like... I think that if the monkey was to use a tenth of its strength, it would still come on top. It's a gorilla. It's a fucking silverback. Like, it's not, you know, like a strong guy. Like, we're not talking about Hercules. We're talking about the force of nature. Like, this thing can rip off lions in two. Shut up. Why? Okay, here we go. This thing is capable of ripping off entire lions in two. Like, you are not going... Yeah, like, this thing can beat out Baki, okay? It can beat the shit out of Baki. Like, the only reason that people think that the humans can win is because they didn't study. They don't know what a gorilla is. They don't know what muscle mass it has. They don't understand the strength that one has. And so they're thinking, okay, well, this is like a taller guy that's more powerful. No. Like, no. It's in a completely different league, okay? The gorilla would eventually die of heat exhaustion. That is the only way. If you have 1,000 people, right? But 100 people, I think the gorilla can finish them off before it even gets exhausted. It's like, imagine if you were fighting 100 chickens, okay? Like, just imagine this. You're fighting 100 chickens. Would you die from heat exhaustion? Probably not. Monkey is strong. Monkey is not invincible. Well, yeah, this is why I said, like, 1,000 people, sure. You know, you bring 1,000 people, like, eventually it gets tired. And if the people act like it's World War Z and just dogpile on it, right? And they don't care about pain. They don't care about self-preservation. It's like, the mission is to kill the monkey. And so, like, the people on top of the gorilla, you know, they're going to get crushed by the people that go on top of them. But eventually you make a pile so big that the gorilla can't get up. And you know, if it starts attacking the people around it, it gets choked in their own blood. And that's, like, probably the only way. Right? The only way that it can be done. You need at least 500, maybe 600, 1,000 to be sure. Like, with 1,000 people, you're guaranteed to take down the gorilla. Could gorilla beat Lily? No. Would the gorilla beat a dragon in a fair fight? No. Well, it actually depends on the dragon, right? Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about, like, a Komodo dragon? You know, are we talking about, like, the little crocodile that St. George managed to spear? Or are we talking like a Game of Thrones dragon? You know, like a fantasy dragon. The ones that furries covet for different reasons. You know, when a furry says he's a dragon rider, he means one thing, but like, you think he means one thing, but it's actually another. If that's the case, no. 100 preschoolers would beat you, V. There is no fucking way. There is no way that preschoolers can beat an adult male. Like, no. You don't feel it. Like, if they kick you, if they bite you, if they use their power, it doesn't do any damage. And to be fair, actually, you know, I take it back. Like, 100 preschoolers, like, theoretically, they can bite and they can draw blood. You can't do that to a gorilla. Like, even if the gorilla allows you to bite it, right? Like, it lets you bite it. No matter how hard you clench, you're not going to draw blood. You're not damaging it. It's too strong. Like, it's muscle mass. It's like fighting a brick wall. American outlier. Hi, V. Hope all is well. Well, not when I'm going on the internet and I see people claiming that 100 men can beat a gorilla. I just saw the women complaining about this. Jesus Christ, how their men have comedic hobbies to smile and enjoy for fun. Also saw the vids and good job and send the images. They're lovely images. I'm going to share them with the class. American Outlier is making a manga, which is not correct. I keep telling him it's a comic because he made it in America. And we actually argued with that. And then another guy, you know, another individual makes a similar thing. Like, he makes a manga and people attack him. It's like, no, it's not a manga. It's a comic. You're American. You don't make manga. You make comics. It's kind of interesting. It's, you know, like an intellectual property. It's against cultural appropriation. Like, you're allowed to draw it, but you can't call it a manga. It's a comic, which is true. If you think about it, it's absolutely true. So, American Outlier spent resources, both financial and creative, in order to make this. And I think it's pretty fucking cool. He's got like many more, right? Like he's a manga creator, a comic creator. He's a comic creator. I'm going to introduce him to the Comics Gate guys, huh? And maybe talk with Ethan Van Sciver. I heard Ethan Van Sciver has ran out of friends. Like he's got no more friends. You know that? Like he's arguing with everyone, and so I need to resupply him with friends. I need to reintroduce him with people. What does Ethan Van Sciver think of anime? Probably not good, right? Because like it's competition and he's coping and seething. It's like, why is my comic book industry doing so poorly while the Japanese shit is selling? Well, it's because the Japanese shit are actually focusing on creating while you're focusing on drama. Maybe if you focus less on drama and petty morality, maybe you too one day could spark the flame that used to exist back when people didn't focus on the drama or morality and just made fucking comics. That gorilla was a good boy who didn't do nothing wrong. He did everything wrong. He should have worshipped the humans. Ethan Van Sciver became dev. Both are fat. It's terminal. Oh, is this like the Pipkin Pipa assessment? Holy fucking shit. American Outlier has shown the only weakness that Tomcat has. Ethan Van Sciver sales are doing very well. Crowdfunding and eBay, check the numbers. Is it doing as well as a manga? You know, like, I'm not talking about sustainability of business. I'm not saying it's going to go bankrupt. What I am saying is, like, when he looks at a manga, does he feel confidence? Does he feel inspired? Does he go like, I also have a product and it can rival this shit? You know, like when he looks at, I don't know, Demon Slayer, is he like, you know, this is another product, but if I put my comic next to it, I know that people will pick my comic because my comic has heart and soul in it. Like, I put flesh and blood. I put fucking flesh and blood into my comic, and this is why people will come and take it. No, I think deep inside, it's like, why are they taking Demon Soul instead of my fucking frog? Why are people choosing the goddamn anime instead of my frog? What is wrong with them? Why? Why can't they see? Why can't they see the reality? You know, like, am I wrong? I may be wrong. Who knows that? But this is my assessment, right? Tomb Raider Netflix is anime, not cartoons. Is it made by Japanese people? I think it's woke. I don't think you can call it anime or cartoons. I think it's woke garbage. Ethan Van Sciver drama is high school girl level drama. See, he should actually write a comic with girls. Like he keeps making action comics and shit. No, like the frog beating stuff. Imagine if he actually made a comic with a high school romance. Are you allowed to make high school romance anymore? Because I know Twitter seeds. Like the moment you draw the anime girl 17, they're freaking the fuck out. They're losing their marbles over that shit. And so, I don't know if you can actually make a high school drama anymore. But if anyone can, I think it's Ethan Van Sciver. Like, I think he would be able to create a very interesting and emotional roller coaster where you're, you know, like the Doki Doki Book Club video game, right? Like, kind of like that. Ethan Van Sciver is a drama queen, but he's also a successful creator. I never said he's not successful. Why? Like, look, can I not look at a human being as a complex individual? Like, why is it on the internet, if you criticize someone, it must mean that either he's a complete failure or like Jesus Christ in perfection? Like, it used to be, you know, back in the year 2010, you can say that a guy has stinky breath. But at the other point, you know, people would understand, okay, well, he's a good comic artist, right? Despite the fact that he has a stinky breath. Like, in the case of Ethan Van Sciver, he's a drama whore. But yeah, he actually can draw. He can make good comics. Not as good as the Japanese, right? Like, not as impactful, which is probably why he's jealous. But that doesn't deny the fact that, yeah, like, the man can draw, the man can sell a comic, the man does have a sustainable business. Like, what actually happened with judging things based on their complexity? Why is everything having to be black and white? It's like either he's a complete failure or a loser, or he's like the absolute messiah of comic books, and like no criticism can be leveled to him. Am I religious or somewhat faithful? No, I'm not religious. I do not believe in the supernatural at all. I don't think angels exist. I don't think that demons exist either, right? And if I don't believe in that, I can't believe in anything else. I don't believe that some teachings make sense. But, no, like, I don't believe in good. That doesn't mean that I don't study religious philosophy and I don't understand, a lot of, like, not the atheist from Reddit understanding, but, like, actually know what Christians believe and some, like, the differences between denominations. Like, what do they say about something in Catholicism? What do they say if they're Baptist? So on and so forth. But speaking of religion, right? Here's my take. Let me tell you something about religion. Recently, I keep getting tagged, and I don't know why this is happening, but I keep getting tagged on Twitter with, like, a lot of random shit that I generally don't give a fuck about. Like, I unironically do not care, right? And like, for instance, not a porn girl, OnlyFans girls got married. And, like, why am I being tagged into this? Like, am I her father? No. Am I involved with her? No. Do I even watch her? No. Do you not think it is horrible, V? Look what our society is becoming. An OnlyFans girl's V, a whore. She's getting married, V. How are you tolerating it? How are you allowing it, V? What is wrong with you? And I'm like, dude, it feels as if Twitter is becoming a place of Karens, Like, I'm forced to be in a room with Karens. I'm minding my own business. I'm doing my own shit. And I see, like, the Spurgs is like, how are we allowing what is happening with our society? How can we live on planet Earth? I am planet Earth. It's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Go away. Like, can this be my space and that be yours? Why are you in my presence? Like, the OnlyFans girls doesn't bother me at all because I don't even know she exists. You're the one that's bringing it into my fucking face. You're the one that's bringing her on my fucking table. And you're the one that's sparking out now. You're destroying my zen. You're fucking up my chi. Just leave me the fuck alone. And so I realized that all these people, like, what they want me to do, right? What they want me to do is to join. They want me to join in complaining, right? They want me to join and cast moral judgment. And so I have finally realized that people are coveting my skills. Like, they must have faith in my ability to morally shame others, that they think that I am a required addition to their crew. And so I genuinely believe that if you're good at something, you should charge money. And here you have, like, this gentleman, the hamster 4. I don't know who he is. I have only respect for him, not criticizing. But he gave me the idea, right? Morality can be bought. And so I'm going to start a payment plan. And if someone pays me, I will do it, right? We're going to go with the basic conversion plan. For $300 a month, I will add a Christian cross to my bio. Right? You can now transform my online persona. You can make me one of you. You just need to pay me, right? Publicly, and what I will do is that I will claim that I have converted to Christianity. No extra actions required beyond appearance. Perfect for the casual believer, right? So you want to feel that more people have joined your side. You want to show the world that you have converted atheists. $300 a month. For $350, you get everything in the basic plan plus. But you can also now choose the denomination that I'm part of, right? So I'm not just going to say I'm a Christian. I can actually say I'm a Lutheran, I'm a Baptist, I'm a Mormon. It's up to you, right? Like, you get full control over this for $350 a month. Now, the respectable lifestyle prestige plan, this is very important, right? So this is why it's expensive. $3,000 a month, right? So, like, for $3,000, it includes everything in the deluxe plan. And I will also now maintain a dignified, virtuous public image. I will no longer publicly discuss or display vices. However, the vices may continue in private because I notice a lot of Christians do this. So, like, I'm trying to emulate here, right? Like, I will keep doing the vices in private or on other accounts, but I will maintain high standards on my main. Like, no more talking about the anime fat-ass titties, no more, discussing OnlyFans, none of that, right? $3,000 a month, you buy my morality. Because at the end of the day, like, this is what they want, right? Like, they want me to think like them, at least in appearance. At least, because we're talking about fucking Twitter, right? Like, they're trying to change society with Twitter. So it's all pretend, right? So, like, I'm willing to pretend for $3,000. Zealous Crusader Supreme plan. This is where it gets interesting. I think like a lot of people could benefit from paying me to do this. All previous benefits included, but I will also now condemn and publicly chastise others engaging in my former vices. If I see someone playing Nikke, you best bet that I will be there. I'll fucking be there. I will shame. I will moralize. I will join you. You know, like this is what you do as a good Christian. You go and you shame other people on Twitter. This is, you know, mass. This is like what good Christians do. And so for $3,500, you can have like another Christian to your rank. You know, like if you say, well, why aren't you complaining about the OnlyFans girl, V, because it affects you? Well, if you now have one person like me that goes around and shames others, it also affects you, but in a positive way, right? Every single Christian in the world, by me going around on Twitter and behaving virtuously, is now getting positively affected, right? Like billions of people on planet Earth are going to get positively affected if you guys manage to crowdfund and pay me $3,500 a month. Finally, for $7,777 a month, you get everything in the previous plans, and I will also form an online posse dedicated to seeking out sinners of your choosing, probably criticizing other people for their sins, including shaming lukewarm Christians who tolerate sinful behavior. And if you have a special request, you can contact me, and I will give you a personalized Crusader consultation. In other words, look, nothing comes for free, right? Like God doesn't say you need to work for free. Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, right? If my moral outrage is so fucking important for you, and if every single behavior of every single person affects society somewhat, then here you have the opportunity, like the perfect opportunity of putting your money where your mouth is, and I'll fucking be your bitch. I have absolutely no qualms against it. Like, it's going to be publicly disclosed. I'm going to pay taxes for it. Like, it's all on the up and up. You know, unlike other influencers, I'm not even going to pretend that this is not happening. No. We do it on the up and up. You pay me, and I behave the way you want. I can't feed my family with morality, you know? Like when my wife comes home and asks me if I paid the electricity bill so we don't end up like Spain, I can't be like, no, you know, darling, I've been very moral today, though, and I chastised the person that plays Nikke on Twitter. And she would be like, yeah, fine, but that doesn't pay the bills. And I'll be, yeah, I know, but I've been very moral, you know? No. Pay me. Fucking pay me. I gotta give props to Cayman America, 5 years strong, and finally have merch in a Japanese store, says American Outlier. And to me, that's the goal. Won't be long before studio reaches out. Well, I hope it actually happens. How much is Melanie Mac weekly collab stream? I mean, it depends. Like, when I collab with her, do you want me to agree or do you want me to spurg out at her? Like, if you want me to spurg out at her, that's cheaper because I don't have to put a persona, right? It's a lot easier for me to get in character. And so, like, $1,000 a week, doable, right? I think that's what she gets paid probably. I don't know. Yeah, $1,000. Now, if you want me to agree with her and be on the same page with her, well, then it's $1,500. And if you want me to strengthen her arguments, right? You don't just want me to agree, but you want me to reinforce her arguments, give her ideas, you know, like teach her how to be more influential and shit, how to frame the arguments in a more theological way. That $2,000, $2,000 a week, and I will be there again, not just as a co-host, but also to strengthen her faith, to frame the arguments in a moral theological way that even a priest would look at it and they would say, well, yeah, okay, now that's fine, you know. Like for instance, if someone from the chat says, well, Melanie, didn't the Bible say that you can't have women priests? Like, what are you preaching? And then I would step in and I would say, she's not preaching, she's evangelizing. She's evangelizing. Like, Jesus actually told the people to evangelize. It's not sinful. That's actually required of every single Christian. Right? See, like, I can do that, but it's more expensive. That's more expensive. If you want, like, the low end, you know, I would just agree and like, oh, Melanie, that's interesting. What do you have to say about that, you know? Maybe we can learn from gorillas. Gorillas is peaceful. Gorilla does not go out of the way to hurt other animals. You haven't seen two gorillas fight. Shit. The glazing fee. Yeah. It would be like very difficult to defend Melody's standards, because like some lewdness is expected, right? Like Christianity usually goes with well, it depends on the denomination, but it usually goes with absolutes, right? So like it's either good or it's evil. Like there's no a little bit of evil, right? And so if you say that video games, okay, you have like lewd chicks in video games. Well, they're either good or bad. You can't say, well, this level of lewdness is good. No, right? It's either good or bad. But like Melody Mac is like, well, actually, Tomb Raider is good. Stellar Blade is not. Right? That would be hard for me to form a theological argument where I defend why Lara Croft, a video game character that breaks gender roles and traditional norms, is a good influence for young Christian men. While she's also showing knees and then like the entire legs and stuff, and there's like also places where she goes scuba diving, and she's got like a very skin tight suit on her, and she's murdering people with guns. It's difficult to make a theological argument on why this type of character should be presented to young Christian men. But I can try. If you pay me, I will. Like I'll find something, but you know, it may be like best I can do, my best offer. The people that are watching on the chat, they will say, oh yeah, okay, that, like, the way V put it is good, but a priest would call me heretical. Like, they'll say, no, this is heresy, like that. Have you seen Sinder drama? I heard people talk about it. Someone briefed me on the Sinder drama. Like, should I ask ChatGPT to tell me about the Sinder drama? All right, let me show you something. ChatGPT has this new feature which allows you to actually research dramas as they're happening. I swear to fucking God, I'm going to be unemployed in the future. So this is how it works, right? You go into the program. You click on deep research. And you ask, tell me everything about the latest VTuber Sinder drama, right? And then you click enter. Just to clarify, I can get you the best information. Are you asking for a full overview of the drama involving the VTuber single, including a timeline of events, the main issue, public reactions, and any official statements? Timeline, public reactions, the spurg out, the whole shebang. Got it. I'll pull together a complete overview of the latest drama of the VTuber Sinder, including a timeline of events, the main issue, detailed public reactions, including any notable spurg outs or meltdowns, and summaries of any official statements or apologies. I'll get back to you with the structure breakdown soon. So now it's going to spend like 10 minutes scrubbing the internet for every single bit of lore, every single drama, and then it will compile it as an academic research, as a peer review study on the Sinder's drama. But we gotta wait a little bit until that happens. Check out Discord, message related to the Karens. Holy shit, we got the Karens. Let's see. This goes for the chat and the ex-users. My grandpa used to say, if you got enough time on your hands to sit on your ass complaining about someone, you got enough time on your ass to go and find work. Oh my fucking God. Why is your grandma so fucking similar to my grandma, Zenith, thank you for being a member for 37 months, even though I don't see you that often. It's women being catty and backstabbing with a VTuber who's their manager. Well, we'll see. We'll see what ChatGPT has to say. Again, I generally don't know any of the drama, so we'll see if ChatGPT gives us an actual good indication. Holy shit, it's actually searching the VTuber asylum. Oh my fucking God. Oh, it's going to 4chan. Holy shit. Why is it going on all these... Like, it searches all the fringe websites that I thought that ChatGPT would never even touch. Sinder is kind of similar to Red Shoes. Then she did nothing wrong. Does she have big tits? If she has big tits, she did absolutely nothing wrong, chat. Everything is forgiven. The 3 types of anti-woke. Anti-woke religious, anti-woke racists, anti-woke atheists. That's such a good way to put it. Anti-woke racists. Is there like a 4th type of anti-woke? ChatGPT is just going to watch the rev vid at 5 times the speed and analyze it. I don't think it can do that. But what it can do is look at the subtitles. So like if a YouTube video has subtitles, it can immediately just like analyze all of them and go through them. And then it can sum up the video. If you show it pictures from the YouTube video, it can tell you what's in the picture and describe it. But if you just want to, you know, analyze a YouTube video without any subtitles or anything like that, I don't think it can. Not bad if it's even looking through 4chan. It's looking through Reddit now. I think like ChatGPT is the only creature in existence that can go to Reddit and live with its sanity intact. It's going to take a while. Usually the more people that use the app, the slower it goes. And I think like this is India time. There's a lot of Indians that use the app. And so it slows down consistently. Considerably. All the info is on Twitter. Yeah, but the Christians are on Twitter. And they're nagging, even now. And you know, when I see people nagging, it causes me displeasure. Even if they're not nagging at me. Like, usually, I don't care if they're nagging at me, because then I can just block them. But, like, if they're nagging at a third party, pisses me the fuck off. It ruins my chi. It destroys my zen. And so I try to avoid Twitter, and now I can just use ChatGPT and ask it, like, can you sum up? And it just does it, you know? It just goes through it. What happened in Spain, by the way? So for those of you who don't know, she sabotaged her friends to get ahead and is very jealous of one. Exactly like Rachel. Well, isn't this like what you need to do in the corporate environment? Like, isn't this like what a corporate woman wants? Like, imagine this, if she's your wife, right? She's your fucking wife. She's hot, she's got big tits, and she's sabotaging other women to get on top. Isn't that fucking hot? Isn't it like, yes. Like, you're proud of her having your family name. Like, she's doing what she wants. Like, she understands the world. She understands what... If you help people, you get nothing. But if you backstab people and you climb, isn't that what nature intends? Like, if you can actually achieve success, isn't that like the way things are supposed to work? Maybe I should stop before someone clips me, and they will be like, well, V actually believes this. Oh, he believes it. Do you want me to do you a short to the dropout with Sinder? No! I'm asking ChatGPT, okay? Like, we'll get ChatGPT, except that it's stuck now. It's stuck. And hopefully it will get unstuck soon. But I want to hear it from ChatGPT. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the problem in Spain. So, for those of you who don't know, apparently there was a blackout in Spain. And in Romania, we have blackouts that happen. I mean, it depends where you're at. Like, if you're in a rural village, you may get a blackout every 1 month or so. You know, nothing major. Usually, it lasts for 30 minutes. Sometimes it can last for an hour. Sometimes 2. Like, depends what happens. We still haven't updated our electricity grid in every single place. Like, we still have, like, what was left from communism. And, yeah, like, sometimes you get a power outage. But when you have a power outage in Spain, everyone, oh my god. But I do understand why they're being like that, because apparently it was almost nationwide, so it wasn't just like in one place. And secondly, people are realizing, oh, these smart cities, maybe it's not so smart to have them, right? Because like, here's the thing: if you got a blackout in the 1980s, it's bad, but it's not as bad. Why? Because you still have cash, right? You still have cars that run on diesel. But like, let's imagine that we get, you know, the future, the neo-feudalist future that is envisioned for us, okay? Cashless society, electric cars. Okay, you get a blackout, everything fucking dies. No more hospitals, no more transportation, no more logistics, no more food, nothing. And so, what we will notice is that despite this being a warning, and being like, okay, what we are doing is not actually good, you're going to see, no, we need to do it faster. This is what happened with the pandemic, right? Pandemic comes up. If you guys remember, like in the beginning of the pandemic, when people treat it like it's the Black fucking Death, everyone, you know, like before you knew anything about it, right? Like all you know is that there's this deadly virus from China. And you see TikTok videos with people dying in China, people dying on the streets, right? Like that was the introduction, okay? So, like, you didn't know anything. You don't know how the virus is transmitted. You don't know anything. Like in your mind, if you get sick, you die. Okay. Let's assume that's the case. What happened? Well, you now have, like, various countries hoarding hand sanitizers, hoarding masks, China hoarding shit. And you're wondering, it's like, okay, but, like, why can't we make our own? Like, why don't we have industry in our own country so that when a crisis happens, we don't have to rely on anyone else? And so you would think that, okay, the pandemic is here. Chances are that people will actually want more power to the nation states, right? Like, they don't want to be reliant on supplies. They don't want, especially like when China was locked down and they said, okay, well, we need to, like, it affected the supply chains. And prices went up. It's like, well, why are we producing hand sanitizers in China? Like, why can we not produce it in here, right? And instead of that being the norm, it's like, no, we need a great reset. We need even more connectivity than ever before. We need to go cashless societies. And it's like, that's interesting, right? Because that's literally the opposite of what this is telling us. Like, it's 180 degrees the opposite of what you're trying to prevent. And people didn't even fucking care. And so, I think it's going to be the same with the blackout, right? Like the blackout. We need more electricity, more AI, more smart cities, less gas, less coal. I heard the pandemic in Europe started with Chinese worker in Italy, probably making luxury bags. Being without air conditioning in Spain would be fun. Do you know they try, like the French tried to do that, the sick fucks? Like, during the Olympics, the French didn't want to give air conditioning to the other participants. And they were saying it's like, okay, for environmentalist reasons, we shouldn't give air conditioning. And so various countries said, well, you know what? How about you go fuck yourselves? How do you say go fuck yourselves in French? Huh? Do you guys have, like, is there any French person here? Like, tell me how do you sacre bleu properly? How do you say go fuck yourself in French? Is that even a word? Like, can you say it? Anyway, various other countries told France, like, no, you're going to fuck yourself. We're going to bring mobile air conditioning. And then, like, the French were fuming, and they were like, well, it's not fair. It's not equitable, because, like, not everyone can afford an air conditioning. Like, you know, first of all, you fundamentally lack the understanding of the world. Like even the poorest nations, even the poorest nations on Earth, if you're talking about the Olympics, they can probably afford an air conditioning, right? Like if we're talking about a national event, right? Like even the poor, what is the poorest nation on Earth? Somalia? Okay, whatever. You know, if North Korea is sending people to an event, I guarantee to you, right, that you are mentally retarded and you do not understand how the world works if you think that their government, right, like the government cannot give them an air conditioning. Like, in what planet are you in? How do you think the world functions? If we're not talking about, like people from the rural village of North Korea, which I agree, yeah, they can't afford the air conditioning, but the Korean government, okay, which can avoid nuclear missiles, you dumbass, can they also avoid an air conditioning? You can live without AC if you build properly. Modern buildings are extremely efficient. Yeah, but like, if you can have one, why not? Why is it that when I enter a bank, there's always an AC? Huh? Why should the bankers be able to have AC and I shouldn't? Why is it that if you enter a government building, especially like the parliament, why is that they have one? Why is it that it's always the middle class that has to make sacrifices? Did you notice that shit, right? The upper class never has to make any sacrifices. They can have their private jets. They can have air conditioning on their fucking yachts. It's always the middle class that's the problem. It's not the lower class. No. It's the middle class. The middle class are the issue that we need to constantly crack down on. How about they go fuck themselves? Hi, Liu. Liu, please don't go fuck yourself. Unless you're upper class. If you're upper class, then you can go fuck yourself. I don't know why people are consistently looking for ways into living in misery. It's because it's about the humiliation of the middle class. It's because the middle class throughout history is the only class possible of trying to seize power, right? The middle class is constantly trying to get into power, and so the people in power feel threatened, and they have two choices. They can either hold on their promise and increase the lifestyle and show the middle class that they're useful, or they can crack down on the middle class. Guess which choice they're picking up, in the last 2 decades? ChatGPT is still looking into the Sinder drama. I don't get why France does not have AC in every house. Because it's oh my fucking god. If you're looking at it through the prism of environmentalism, it doesn't make any sense. If you're looking at it from the prism of neo-feudalism, then it makes 100% of sense, right? Like, if you're the middle class, you need to become the peasant. And the people in the upper class, they're the nobility. They want to hold their seat of power forever. They want to be in charge of you, and they want you to worship them. Like, imagine a medieval society, right? Like, the noble, he's got like 2 slaves with palm leaves that are constantly fanning him. Can you as a peasant do that? No, you can't afford it. That's the whole point. I like not having AC because one of the less things to pay for the oligarchs and to maintain. Not to mention, like, they're making taxes out of it, right? Like, they're going to tax you for having an AC. Like, the AC already, when you buy it, it has a sales tax, a VAT tax. It's got, like, additional environmentalist taxes. And then the electricity bill goes up and you pay taxes for that, too. And so, like, that's what they're intending. But it's also the religious aspect of it, right? Because like this whole environmentalist thing, it's not just like practical, but it's also religious in nature, right? Like, you're a good person if you humiliate yourself. Like, if you don't have an AC, if you don't have a car, if you lower your living conditions, it shows piety. It shows that you worship the ruling class. So that's also part of it. Let's see if ChatGPT is still. Oh, it's almost done. Still compiling sources. Can you imagine just how in depth the catalogation of the VTuber Sinder drama is going to be when it's over? Like, it's still looking into sources, but it's been doing it for like 10 minutes. There's a lot of shit to go through. There's a lot of shit to go through with one drama, one VTuber. And I still don't know if she has big tits. Hold on, let me check. Sinder VTuber. Oh, she's the one with fire? She's like a demon? Is this the demon that caused problem? She doesn't show her whole model. She only shows the head. To be fair, a lot of VTubers, they spend so much fucking money. Okay, no, she did nothing wrong, chat. I'm sorry. She did nothing wrong. I don't care what the drama is. I don't care what the controversy is. She's fine. Like, she's 100%, you know, like, whatever happened, I'm sorry that she had to go through it. I know the internet is a bad place. I think that she's going to come out okay. Yeah. Bad people do bad things, Sinder. You shouldn't, you know, you should try to ignore it. It's unfortunate that we live in such a society where bad people do bad things. If you need my help, I will gladly, you know, like, for free. Like, with the Christians on Twitter, I asked them to pay me for subscriptions if they want me to promote their ideology. But for you, I will do it for free. Like, tell me who hurt you, just point me at the direction, and I will immediately, like, make a YouTube video condemning them, criticizing them, explain why what they did is wrong. I'm 100% on her side. I all of a sudden, I had a change of heart. I don't even care what ChatGPT has to say now. It is what it is. I don't know what the bad thing is, but, like, when I find out, I'll justify why it's bad. Like, whatever happened, I will agree that it's a bad thing, and she's the victim. Right? Like, I will somehow, like... It doesn't matter what happened, right? Like, nothing in the world that happened to her is justified. Like, I will find a way to condemn it, and I will also tie it to her as being the victim. Wasn't it Cinder doing it that blamed everything on her boyfriend? Her boyfriend is the problem. See? Like, that's how I operate. He is the problem. She's the victim in this. I don't know their relationship, but clearly he is not good enough for her. I hope they break up. It is 100% society's fault. Hold on. How long is ChatGPT taking? How big is this fucking drama? Dude, I asked ChatGPT to, like, figure out, like, more complex things about the economy and politics and all that shit. And it took a lot less than to figure out the VTuber drama. Like, it's not normal for the program to take this long. This must be, like, one fucking hell of a drama, chat. Like, there must be so much. If she was single, she would have had no problems, of course. See? I am the type of person that instantly diagnoses and finds solutions. And my solutions is that she should have broken up. There you go. All the problems would go away. She's been abusing her friends for years. Her friends are to blame. Like, her friends should have shown more support. They should have been there for her. All the abuse that they got is self-inflicted. You like, look, if you're friends with Sinder, you just gotta be there for her. You gotta understand her more. Like, she's a human being. She's a compassionate individual, and all she asks is for a little bit of understanding. And if her friends are not capable of giving that, then they deserve the abuse. Come on, you know, like, bring it, fucking bring it. I will spin it in a way that makes sense. Just, see, this is what the Christians can get if they pay me. I can do this the same for your ideology. I can spin everything you want in a positive way. The gaslighting from me is reaching the final form. ChatGPT, I'm thinking through possible reasons Sinder might trigger search restrictions. It's worth noting that Sinder could relate to the not safe for work content, which might explain the search block. I'm considering if the word spurg out in the query is triggering Bing's filter for offensive slang, which might explain the search block. I'm considering whether a filter on Sinder might explain why this term is being flagged or returning empty results. Okay, so the reason ChatGPT is not able to find info is because Sinder is being, too lewd. and the search engines are telling ChatGPT no. But it's still trying to find a way. American Outlier. When I finally got in the upper mid bracket, and my god, I see why my grandparents didn't like city folk, and I don't either. It don't matter the color or political party. They all act like upper crust, and it's the urbanization mentality. Finally, someone that fucking understands me. You know what I hate the most? Like, this is why Christians on Twitter don't know why oftentimes I find an OnlyFans girl that does porn to be more respectable than someone like what was the name, JDA or some shit like that. The reason, like when I look at a person, the very first thing that I look at, right, like when I analyze a human being, the only thing that I care, and I generally, like, before even going to their personality, before I even go to their actions, the only thing that I care is if the person is honest with themselves. That's literally numero uno. Like, are you honest with yourself or are you pretending? You know, are you a person that is trying to control others or you're just trying to enjoy life? That is like the number one thing that I separate the world from the pieces of shit and the people that I would like to talk to. So for instance, if you're a person that's a woke individual, like let's say you're a far extreme leftist, right? The first thing that I want to know is, like, are you true to yourself? Like, do you actually preach? Do you actually behave what you preach, right? If you're woke and you genuinely behave in that way because you're convinced that being woke is correct and you're actually partaking in the ideology and you're doing everything you're preaching, then I don't consider you a piece of shit. Despite the fact that you're woke, I think you're still a person that I can talk with. I will avoid woke subjects. I will avoid politics. I will avoid everything like that. But I have respect, you know? Like, I genuinely respect you because you're true to your beliefs. If I see a person that's, like, having crosses in the bio, but, you know, he's constantly complaining and nagging about OnlyFans girls, but when I go through his timeline, he's into furry fetishes, he likes gay stuff, he made a not safe for work comic, but, like, he's a Christian, and then he's moralizing at people, I have absolutely no respect for him. None whatsoever. In my mind, you are beneath an OnlyFans girl. Because at least the OnlyFans girl is honest with herself. Like, you know, she's putting out a product. It's behind the paywall. It's behind an age rating. You know? Like, she's honest. I don't agree with what she's doing. I don't think that what she's doing is good. But I respect her for her honesty. Like she is at least true to what she is. She's not hiding it. She's not manipulating. Like, she's generally like, this is what I am. This is what I do. And then when I see a person that's like, this is how you need to behave, but I behave the exact other way, go fuck yourself. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're leftist, right-winger, religious, non-religious. I don't fucking care. I hate those people. And when you go to the city folk, life is filled with those people. Everyone is like that. Everyone is pretending to be something they're not. Everyone is trying to save face. Everyone is saying the correct things, but they're doing the bad thing. And this is the thing, you know? Do you make a better world if everyone says and acts the correct way, but they're doing the opposite? If every single person behaves immorally, but when it comes to condemning others, they're number one, and they know how to do it, and they say the correct things when it matters, and they all just speak the speech, but none of the actions, is that an actual better world? I think not. You know? I think not. It is what it is. And the only reason I keep talking about OnlyFans girls is because it's literally Twitter's fascination right now. Everywhere you go, non-stop talking about them. Just fucking non-stop. And it's like, since when have they become more interesting than drug dealers? Or gang members? Or the economy? Or like literally anything else? Like, have you run out of political enemies that like, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not saying like no one should say anything bad about OnlyFans girl. Of course you should. But is this the only fucking topic? Like every single fucking day, it's like the only topic that's there. Last year it was Indians though, so I can't say that, you know, like the H-1B visas. I learned more about India than I wanted to. I got more educated about India than I had in my entire fucking life just by going on Twitter and seeing people posting and talking about India. Like that was really fascinating. What can I say? But now it's all about the OnlyFans girls. Now Christians cannot live in America or in Zimbabwe because of OnlyFans girls. It's like they just can't. They haven't figured out the block button yet. Anyway, ChatGPT is still compiling, but it's almost close. Like, it's still, look what it's doing. It's almost close, right? So it's still looking for sources. It's almost here. So hopefully we're going to get a summary of the drama. Yes, I can't stand hypocrites. I can't fucking stand hypocrites. I would rather stand an awful person that's like a bad backstabber, an evil person that's honest with themselves. I would actually have a conversation with them than with a hypocrite. I fucking hate hypocrites. I can't stand them. It doesn't matter the ideology. It doesn't matter the religion. It doesn't matter any. I don't fucking care anything. Just stop being hypocritical. Just stop. I'm anti-OnlyFans. I'm not saying you should be for or against. But I don't understand why when I go on Twitter, I need to see a wall of text of people constantly complaining and bitching about OnlyFans girls. It's like the only topic that's trending right now. It's the only thing that people talk about. And it's like, I'm not doing OnlyFans. I'm not subscribed to them. I'm not into them. Why do I keep having to see them on my fucking timeline? Like here's another interesting thing, right? Every single time people talk about OnlyFans or porn actresses, they know their fucking name. And how the fuck do you know? No, seriously, think about this, right? You get an article with an OnlyFans girl that married someone, right? Like she's in a marriage now. And people are asking me my opinion, and I'm like, well, I don't fucking care. Why do I care that this chick got married? Am I there in the bedroom when she's fucking? Am I, her father? Am I, like, no. Why are you bringing this to condemn it? Okay. Now, I don't condemn it. I say, dude, it's none of my fucking business. And then they spun out, right? Like, they're upset. Like, why am I not condemning it? I'm supporting evil. Blah, 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 blah. And while people are attacking me, they also drop the name of the chick. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know her name? How the fuck do you know her name? Because I generally don't go on OnlyFans, and I don't go on Pornhub. I don't know their name. And people say that I'm exaggerating. No, listen. Do you watch racing? Do you watch Grand Prix? Okay? Let's assume you don't. Would you know the name of the race cars? The race drivers? Like, would you know their names? Right? Because I have like the most dumb take. The most dumb take ever. It's like, well, V, well, how do you know she's a porn star if you don't watch porn? I'm like, what fucking question is this? It's like, okay, just because I can recognize a football player doesn't mean that I would also know their name. Like, if I see someone dressed in a football uniform on a fucking stadium with people behind, I would say, okay, this is a football player. But I don't know their name. I don't know their personality. I don't know how many goals they score. I don't know for what team they're playing, right? If I did all of that, do you know what you could conclude? And it would be like a safe assumption. That I actually watch football, right? That I'm a fan. And based on my knowledge, based on how many things I happen to know, you would know just how big of a fan I am, right? And so, if you're telling me, like, every single time there's an OnlyFans girl marrying or doing some shit, taking 1,000 guys up on it, I don't fucking know, right? But if you know her name, if you know her personality, if you know what she did, I will assume that you're into that shit. And I think it's a very safe assumption. I don't know, because I'm not into it. My favorite thing is like, oh, well, V, but don't you like lewd video games? Don't you like anime? Yes! Yes, if you're asking me about, what Nikkei has the biggest tits, I know. Right? If you're asking me about drawn titties, I can tell you about the shading, I can tell you about the artist, cause that's what I do, right? Like, I'm actually into that. But real people, OnlyFans, Pornhub, I don't fucking know because I don't go there. Why is this so difficult to understand? Holy fucking shit. Yeah, okay, like if it's like a major famous OnlyFans girl, right? Like if it's like the LeBron James of sports, then okay, fine. Like I know Amaranth. I don't know if Pokimane does OnlyFans, like that's my knowledge. But like if it's someone like really famous, okay, fine, you know, it's acceptable to know the name. But when it's like a newspaper article with this chick got married, and I'm saying, well, you know, like maybe she will find happiness. No, she won't because back in 2018 she was involved in this drama and da 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 da. I'm like, oh, fuck off. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way you don't watch her. There's no fucking way you're not subscribed. I don't know why you're upset, why you're like this, but you're a fucking hypocrite. Don't get me started on drug dealers. LOL. You put MS-13 on the terrorist list, but not US gangs like Crips, Bloods, that's been terrorizing community for decades. I think it's because it's a lot easier. Well, okay, I can tell you why they're doing this. There's two different reasons. Number one, the Republicans are trying to get the black vote so they can't rock the boat, right? Number two, you can still crack on crime by doing the things that you can, right? So, like, the difference with the Bloods and the Crips is that you can't deport them. Like, they're already in the country. But you can deport MS-13 gang members, and you're still tackling the problem. You're still doing... You're still fighting crime, right? Like, the number of crime goes down through your actions, and you can only do it by getting the black vote. Because if black people don't vote for you, then you're not in power, and if you're not in power, you can't crack down, right? And so that's how I see it. Like first they start with, and even with the immigrants, like notice how they're starting with the criminals, right? They're not going after the abuelita. They're not going after like the old lady that looks good on CNN and she's crying and saying, I've been in the United States for 10 years and now they're deporting me and now where am I going to go? You know, they're not doing that. What they're doing is like they're going after the people that no one can defend. And if they do try to defend them, they look absolutely awful, like the worst human beings in existence. And that's the tactic. And probably they are going after the Bloods and Crips, but like, not full on, right? Apparently, ChatGPT is now evaluating the drama's impact. I never had a research that took this long. Legally a lot harder to put Bloods and Crips on the list because they aren't foreigners. That's true, right? And that's a good thing. Like, you don't want the government to be able to put random citizens on terrorist lists willy-nilly because, like, there's a lot of consequences. Like, you can lose bank accounts, you can get banned from social media, you can have problems with credit cards, right? So, like, if they were to weaponize this as a political tool, and they can now just put any person, like let's say you have an agitator, right? Like, you have someone that's trying to get into politics, and maybe their political views are a little bit outside the overtone window. Well, if the government can just call them terrorists, well, now they can't get funding, now they're having difficulty opening bank accounts, now they're having difficulty traveling, right? And so people also will lose faith into the terrorist label. Because now they wonder, okay, is he an edgy commentator? Like, is he someone that's trying to blow up a building or someone that's behind the keyboard being a cheeky little shit, right? American Outlier, didn't they make people attacking Tesla terrorist lists? I don't know. I haven't followed. However, I do think, like, in this case, it may be warranted because they're actually doing violence, and they're doing it for a political reason. Like, the Bloods and the Crips, they're not doing violence for politics. Right? Like, they're not trying to influence the legislation in the United States of America, right? Like, they're not trying to change certain laws or, you know, to get certain people in power impeached. Like, they're doing crime in order to make money. And so you can't say that every single criminal, every single, you know, person that's in the Casa Nostra is a terrorist. Like, a terrorist is usually someone that does violence in order to change society. They're not necessarily interested in financial wealth. They're not interested in making money. They're interested in pushing an ideology. And so I don't think the Bloods and the Crips apply because they're not pushing ideology. MS-13, on the other hand, again, it's not that they're fitting the definition better. It's more that it's more convenient, right? Like, it's very convenient for the government to go after them because they're not citizens. No one can defend them. They actually are committing atrocious acts. And so it's not ideological. It's more pragmatic. It's more of a cynical approach. Cosa, not casa. Well, stop correcting me. You're making me look bad. Man, I really want to end the stream, but I'm still waiting for ChatGPT to finish the results. Like, it's being verifying filter triggers. It's got filtered really fucking hard. the AI by looking for Sinder for some reason. They are the rape, murder, death gang. Yeah, it's pretty difficult to defend them. I'm actually curious if the Bloods and the Crips are as horrifying as MS-13. I generally don't know, right? Because I didn't grow up in an American neighborhood. And you gotta just actually grow up in the culture to understand. I know how Romanian gangs operate, and I don't know if it's fair to compare, right? Because I grew up in a neighborhood with people from all walks of life. So I do know the culture here, but I don't know like how black people in the United States operate. Like, what is their mentality, you know, their honor code, their ranks, blah, blah, blah. And then to compare it with MS-13 to see if it's similar or not. I assume it's probably not. Like, if you're part of a new gang that's arriving and you're creating a new turf, like, usually you gotta be really brutal about it. And so probably this is what we're witnessing, right? Make a video of it? Now, how can I make a video of it if I don't live there? The problem with gangs is twofold, right? Number one, the people that actually know the gangs and interact with the gangs, they can't talk about it. They can't talk about it because then they get into trouble with the gangs. And so what you usually know is information from the outside, right? Like the mainstream media, other sources, or usually like 40 or 50 years later, you have like an old gang member and he goes and gives an interview. And it's so fucking fascinating. Like, I'm always fascinated by this because, like, yeah, they're criminals, but they have, like, their own code, their own traditions, their way of seeing things. Like, for instance, the Italians, they would never target women if they could avoid it. Like, they don't target women and kids. But then you had, like, Colombians that would come over, and they had no problem with doing that. And because of that, Colombians were more feared. Right? Because if you have a war with Colombians, well, okay, they come in, they attack your family, and then they live on a boat, and you can't go after them, because it's a different country. And you can't reciprocate the level of harm that they're doing, because like, you got a code. And it's interesting, it's fascinating when you read about these things, right? It's like, okay, so like criminals have codes, they have like different things, like certain crimes they look down on, other crimes they tolerate. The Colombians were feminists. Bloods and Crips are not like well. If you know Crips, it's not pronounced Crips. It's CRIPS. They're not like MS-13. I know members of both. And also, I understand like it depends where the gang is situated, because like they have large swaths of America carved up. So like you may know a Blood from one place, and he's like completely different with the Blood from another. I understand that race is also an important issue. In many places, you have to be black in order to be part of the gang. In other places, they're more tolerant. It ends up with problems when you end up in a prison, right? And you're, let's say, like a white Blood member, and you're dealing with a gang that has like more strict racial recruitment methods. Again, like it's all really fascinating. ChatGPT is now at the stage where it's pondering the controversies. Like, it already went through the sources, managed to get everything. I never had it wait so long. I think we're waiting an hour for one VTuber drama. Like, holy fucking shit. Like, ChatGPT can immediately predict the economy, public ideologies, public opinions. It does that in a minute. You ask it to predict VTuber drama. It's stuck for 1 hour. Like, I think I'm breaking the machine. Oh yeah, biker gangs. You can't call them a gang, apparently. You gotta call them a motor club. And apparently they would have in their clubhouse, at the door, they would always have a wardrobe or something, so that if someone opens the door and tries to throw in a pipe bomb or a Molotov cocktail, like it wouldn't actually go in the house. It would go into the thing in front of the door. Again, like you find these things that there's a lot of channels on YouTube where you have like ex-convicts. Usually they do this, and the ex-convicts, like, they would bring someone that used to be affiliated with the gang, and they're now like 60 or 70 years old, and they're talking about shit that happened like 20 or 30 years ago, probably like nothing that's happening today. And it's really insightful, you know, like it's fascinating to watch. Ask ChatGPT. I can't ask it anything. It's still stuck on the Sinder drama, and until it finishes, I'm unable to get it to move any further. I can't even stop it. I'm exploring a less specific search for VTuber succubus drama to avoid explicit mentions of Sinder. The strategy might broaden our understanding of the subject. She's a succubus, chat? The Motor Club just likes to have chemistry projects in the back rooms. I work some days with the Hells Angels, and sometimes I ask him if him and the gang are doing anything on the weekend. He always reminds me that it's a club. Yeah, it's a big thing for them. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Like, any subculture doesn't like to be, like has its own internal lingo, and doesn't want to be demeaned. Like, you can't just go to someone that's into heavy metal and talk to him about, you know, the devil's music and shit. It's like, dude, it's just music, you know? Oh yeah, like imagine going to gamers and say, oh, what murder simulator are you playing? And you're like, dude, it's just Doom. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's kind of like that, you know? Like, if you're part of a subculture, you can't call it what people call it on the outside if you're talking to one of their members. What is the meaning of life? I know what the meaning of life is. I don't need to ask the AI. The meaning of life is to reproduce. All life exists to reproduce. That's it. That's the fucking meaning of life. I'm sorry it's not what you wanted to hear. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Every single living organism desires to reproduce. But what about the ones that don't? Well, they're not achieving the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to have offsprings, period. That's it. Oh, it found one source? I'm actually curious like what it found. I think it's the it's compiling the sources now. It's telling me where it got insight from. I think it's the Rev video from YouTube. I mean, it makes sense. It's probably the most viewed. Disagree? How can you fucking disagree with it? Like, tell me one living organism that doesn't, you know, as a species, not as an individual, but as a species, doesn't try to reproduce. What's the meaning of reproduction? To create more life. It's not even to prosper. I think it's just to reproduce. I think that's it. Because every single life has this in common. Every single life form, every single organism, every known living thing, not as an individual. Like, some individuals can't do it, some individuals don't want to. But on the whole, the whole purpose is to reproduce. When it stops fulfilling that purpose, it stops existing. Yeah, the extinct species didn't try to reproduce. Whomever broke my chat GPT, I hope you suffer. I hope you suffer minor discomforts. Like it, I will never ask ChatGPT to look into a VTuber drama ever again, or anything involving women. Life wants to preserve itself, and the only way is doing that by reproducing. No, but like think about it. Almost everything you do in your life can also be tied to the reproduction, right? So why do you get a job? It's so you can feed yourself, so that one day you can reproduce. Why do you take more money? It's so that you can impress a significant other, and so that the extra money goes to your kids, so that you can raise them well, right? Like reproduction doesn't just mean you have a baby. It also means you manage to grow him into a individual adult that's self-sustainable. And so everything you do in life, right, is with that purpose in mind. Like you're actually chiseling yourself, educating yourself, improving yourself, so that one day you can impress a significant other, like someone that your body thinks is having the correct genes, and that's usually done through attraction, like it's biological. Like you're attracted to people that have the good genes for you, if you will, right? Like someone that's sickly, diseased, morbidly obese, old, too young is not attractive, right? Like you're attracted to young, fertile women that are capable of producing offsprings, and they're genetically compatible with you, right? Like that's why when you look at your family, your cousin, your sister, you're not attracted. Again, we're talking about averages, right? Like not individuals. Like they're not individuals that don't work as intended, right? That's why they're pathological cases. But like generally speaking, right? Like most people on Earth, they're attracted into young people, right? Like 18, beautiful bodies, big tits, that type of thing. And they're trading on how to eventually seduce a significant other, be with a significant other, marry, and then how they can raise their children, like how they can use the finances and the assets and all of the things that they gathered in order to make sure that the child is a stable member of the community that's also able to earn for themselves and have a roof over their head. And I think that's the purpose of life. Yeah, I think it's reproduction. This is why society sucks for single men without purpose. What is the purpose of sentient life? Well, see, another thing here is why does there need to be a purpose? Like, why do we assume that there is a purpose? Why can some things not just be? Like, we're thinking in a very human way, right? We're thinking it in a very, like, from a human perspective. Because for humans, everything you do has some purpose, right? But like, what if there are things in the world that have no purpose? Why do they must have a purpose? What if something just exists for no reason? Now there are reasons on why it started existing, and we can, go back and figure out like what caused this to happen. And you can go through like a chain of events, like a domino effect, and you can eventually find out how it happened. But like once it happened, why does it need to have a purpose? Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? At least that has a purpose, right? Why would it exist? Why wouldn't it? Why does everything that exists needs to have a purpose? If you look at the blade of grass, let's assume that it would actually be sentient. Does it need to have a purpose? No. It's just there. It exists. Now if you look at it from the biological sense, yeah, I mean, it can serve purposes. Like once it dies, it can feed the soil for the next blades of grass. It can feed an animal that eats it. Doesn't mean that the purposes are noble or interesting or anything like that. But what if having individual meaning increases our advantage and aids reproduction? Then you'll create individual meaning that may or may not be true. Like you will make up an individual meaning just to satisfy your curiosity. Even if you can't fact check it, even if you don't know if this meaning has a purpose or not, You'll just gaslight yourself or gaslight others that there is that meaning, which is true, in order to give people an advantage in the evolutionary tactic. Would have been easier to just download the Google document from non-onlys, but no, I know it would be easier. I want to see what ChatGPT comes up with, right? Documents can be found on the artist account. Yep, that's not the point. Like, I know I can find it. Like, at the end of the day, I can just ask a person. I'm just curious what ChatGPT comes up with. That's the whole reason I'm running this experiment. Gaslighting yourself is good. Gaslighting yourself is actually a strong coping evolutionary method. Apparently animals do it as well. There was a very sadistic experiment that I read about. I think it's from the 80s. The Russians did it. They tried to see how mice react if you gaslight them. And they put a mouse inside a bottle, which, like, they had like a tube, you know, like a bottle shaped like a tube. And it was filled with water. And they just dropped the mouse in. And so the mouse started swimming. And the mouse eventually would stop swimming, sink, and die, right? And they wanted to see how long it takes. And I think, like, for the first mouse, it was like 20 minutes or so. And after like 20 minutes, it just stopped swimming and it died. They repeated the experiment again with the second mouse. But after like 10 minutes, they pulled it out of the water. They pulled it out of the water. They allowed it to sit in a box for a while. And then they put it back into the bottle. And what they found out is that the second mouse, it kept swimming for 7 hours until it died. Like, in other words, like, the mouse was being gaslit that he is going to be rescued at some point. He just got to hold on a little bit more. Right? So, it is a survival method. Yeah, like gaslighting yourself, believing in things which may not be true or logical or factual, actually does push you to do things that normally you wouldn't do it. Yeah, chat, we're going to give up on ChatGPT. Like, you guys completely broke it by asking it a VTuber drama. Yes, I'm not using O3. I'm using 4.0 with deep search. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a result. Probably I'll read it on tomorrow's stream if you guys are still here, and I'll see you then. Take care.